No one in the quiet mountain village of Ruidoso expected the day to unravel the way it did. By midday, a wall of muddy, debris-filled water came tearing through parts of southern New Mexico, the result of a powerful monsoonal thunderstorm that didn't just pass through but sat stubbornly over the region, unleashing relentless rainfall in a matter of hours. This wasn't a slow build. Streams turned violent, creek beds overflowed, entire neighborhoods were overtaken before residents could process what was happening.
Some down there too, some over there. And yeah, it's freezing cold. Check it out. Deer poop. Hail.
What began as an afternoon rainstorm turned into a full-scale emergency, fast. Emergency alerts hit phones and radios. The National Weather Service issued an urgent flash flood warning, describing the situation as life-threatening. Low-lying communities, including Ruidoso Downs and Hollywood, were given no choice: evacuate now or risk being caught in something much worse. Within minutes, local responders were already going door to door, guiding families out, sometimes under pouring rain and ankle-deep runoff. But this flood didn't just bring water, it brought destruction.
Quiet little creek. It's barely a trickle behind my house. Almost to my gate.
The terrain surrounding Ruidoso, still scarred from previous wildfires, offered no resistance. In many places, the soil has been baked by past fires into a hard, almost waterproof layer. When the storm dumped inches of water, nothing soaked in. It all ran off, fast. The result was a series of deadly debris flows, thick, fast-moving sludge loaded with rocks, trees, ash, and even fragments of destroyed buildings. In Paradise Canyon, a video taken by a local named Lindsay Tharp captured a shocking scene. A cabin torn from its foundation was seen floating down a raging creek, tossed like driftwood by the force of the current. That one image told the entire story. This wasn't just a flood. This was a disaster with teeth. Lincoln County's first responders faced conditions most wouldn't dare enter. Fast-moving, debris-choked waters forced rescue teams to move on foot, by raft, and in some cases, tethered lines. Within the first few hours of the storm, 5 people had already been pulled from dangerous situations, trapped inside vehicles, homes, or on isolated patches of high ground. Power infrastructure didn't hold up. Initial outages were reported in areas like Davis Drive, Spruce Drive, and Yellow Pine Road. But as the storm dragged on, the blackout spread, reaching Upper Ebarb, East and West Redwood Drive, Juniper Road, and deep into Brady Canyon. Utility crews scrambled to cut power to affected lines to prevent electrical hazards, while coordinating with local officials on emergency rerouting and prioritization. For the families who had to leave everything behind, help was available. 2 emergency shelters opened, one at the Ruidoso Community Center and another at Eastern New Mexico University. At least 14 evacuees were reported en route by late afternoon, with more expected through the night.
Keep going or turn around. All the crews are leaving.
Meanwhile, sandbag stations were set up around the village, offering residents the chance to build makeshift barriers to protect what little they could from the rising water. What made this event especially cruel was how soon it came after another tragedy. Less than a month ago, on July 8th, the same river, or the Rio Ruidoso, surged to a record 20 feet. That flood took 3 lives and damaged or destroyed at least 35 homes. Today, the river climbed again, this time to 12 feet. Not record-breaking, but still dangerously above flood stage. For families still recovering from July's storm, the emotional weight of another evacuation was almost unbearable. Officials confirmed, thankfully, that as of now, there are no reports of missing people or serious injuries connected to today's flood. But that doesn't mean the damage isn't deep. The physical destruction is clear, from washed-out roads and buckled bridges to layers of mud coating entire streets. But the emotional and psychological toll is just beginning to surface. Residents are tired, displaced, and unsure of what the next storm might bring. Crews have already begun early cleanup operations, starting with the critical roadways. Mud and debris have left many routes impassable, slowing down both emergency access and returning residents. Heavy equipment is being deployed to clear the main corridors first, with full damage assessments expected to take days. This entire event is tied to a seasonal weather pattern, the North American monsoon. It brings necessary rain to the southwest between June and September, pulling moisture up from the Pacific and the Gulf. But when these storms hit burn scars like the one left by the South Fork fire, they're transformed into something far more dangerous. With vegetation stripped away and the soil unable to absorb water, runoff accelerates. It picks up speed, volume, and deadly debris, turning simple mountain runoff into lethal rivers.
Okay, see that you can see the hail piled up. That's what was blocking the street this time. Is all of this is hail. It wasn't mud or 6 feet. Chris's time it was 6 feet high, all the way across the road. If you look across the road, and you can see by that sort of white or the tan truck, that pile, that's hail. Come on, Lily, that washed down the mountain. And so you can add that to Phillips. But look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There were at least 5 sections of the wall that came.
Local leaders have emphasized that Ruidoso isn't just dealing with nature, it's facing the aftershocks of repeated disasters. From fire to flood, the cycles are getting tighter, the damage compounding. Officials are calling for stronger infrastructure investments, better evacuation planning, and a reevaluation of how burn scars are treated and rehabilitated. As the skies begin to clear, Ruidoso is left in a now familiar position, starting over. Streets will be cleaned, power will be restored, and homes will be rebuilt. But what's harder to fix is the growing anxiety with each storm that rolls in. For now, residents are leaning on one another, volunteering, showing up, and doing what they can to move forward again. But one thing is certain, this won't be the last test for Ruidoso, and how the next one unfolds may depend on what's done between now and then. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay aware and stay safe.